Hello, this is Malakosa and you're watching episode 9 of the ManuFactory. Last episode we made our way to the Nether and we successfully started harvesting energy by way of creating a nice little lava pumping facility. In this episode we're going to make that lava pump just a little smarter and get that lava back to the overworld so we can use it to create energy here. But first, I need more obsidian. And I didn't make it clear exactly where I was getting the raw obsidian from last episode, so I thought I would show that. As you can see on our map, we are in cave mode for Ray's mini-map. And if I bring up the big map, that's zoom mode, bring up the big map, you can see south of our facility a large expanse of black worm-like tunnels. Well, turns out, that's a classic sign, especially at this level, we are at level 10 now, of lava. Lots and lots of lava. And as you know, and I will demonstrate, if you pour water over the top of lava, you get obsidian. And isn't that a great thing? Now, we do have to be careful because this area is not lit. So, things will tend to go boom. Let's light this up a bit. Stupid creeper. So, we're just going to use water to help us make this place a little safer. But then, we're going to use our turtles, as usual, to actually mine out the obsidian. And that is pretty easy. Just place your turtles down. Oh, Mr. Creeper, I heard you. Naughty, naughty creeper. God, there's creepers all over the place down here. And we're going to just give it some fuel. And we're going to tell it to tunnel 20. Tunnel 20. And there it goes. Now, one of the things, again, to make this safe, is as the turtles mine, I'm going to place water down behind them so that as they mine out the obsidian up top, the lava below will also turn to obsidian. Again, being careful not to have creepers come up and blow me up. And there's one right there. Ah, Mr. Creeper. Oh, he actually blew up some minerals. I'm going to go mine some of this stuff here and get rid of this. Alright, whoop, whoop! And that's why we're careful when we're down at this level, because one never knows. Alright. So at some point, these turtles are going to stop. Yeah, and there they are. Alright. That way, are you? Let me that way, are you? Alright. So I think they've done all they can do lava-wise. And so what we're going to do is we're going to knock them down. And we're going to collect the obsidian. And we're going to get rid of this water because it's getting annoying. And we're going to get out of here because this place isn't safe. Now we're going to glass it up. And we're going to see, I believe the obsidian landed in my miner's backpack. Yes, it did. How much obsidian we got? We got 40, which is more than I need. So, we got some more obsidian. Great. Eventually, we're going to automate the production of obsidian, but not today. And I will be right back after I've gotten more materials to make phase 2 of our lava pump. Okay, we're back, and I think I've got everything I need. As you can see, we've built yet another couple of machines, and we'll get to those in a minute. But first, it seems when I died last episode a couple of times in the Nether, I lost my chunk loader. So I had to build another one. So, as you know, chunk loader, gold, ender pearl, surrounding an enchantment table, and there's your enchantment table. Pretty basic. We also need some levers. We know how to make those. We also need the the first of a couple of fairly complex items. So the first thing we need is a gate. This will allow us to test conditions for our energy cell. Now, to make a gate, you need what's known as an assembly table with a redstone chipset. The assembly table will use the chipset and 20,000 Buildcraft megajoules to create a gate. The redstone chipset is made from a piece of redstone and 10,000 megajoules, again, in an assembly table. But how do you make an assembly table? Well, the assembly table is made from 6 obsidian, a diamond, a redstone, and a diamond gear. And oh my god, the diamond gears are expensive. 4 diamonds surrounding a gold gear, 4 gold surrounding an iron gear, stone gear, wood gear, and sticks. So that's the assembly table, but assembly tables don't take energy. They take input from lasers. So what you need to do is set up one or more lasers around the assembly table hooked into your Buildcraft energy. How do you make a laser? Lasers are simply redstone, a couple of obsidian, and a couple diamonds. This is what it looks like. Here's your assembly table. Here's your lasers. Now the lasers can be above the assembly table. I've only done one for now. This is a temporary setup. Also, the assembly table, when it's finished manufacturing an item, will spit it out unless it's adjacent to an inventory. In this case, I've put a chest directly below it. So, how does the assembly table work? Well, let's get some items. In this case, let's get some redstone. Alright. So basically, and actually, while I'm here, let's get some iron just to show you what more complicated options are. So, the assembly table knows, based on based on the inventory that is currently in this 12 slots, what it can make. So right now I can make a redstone chipset, and because I have iron as well as redstone, I could also make a redstone iron chipset. All you need to do is click on it, and the assembly table will make the item. Now, if you want to make multiple items, you can click on multiple items, and it's going to follow in priority and make them all eventually. In this case, I want to take out the iron, and I'm actually not going to bother making the redstone chipset, and I think, yeah, see, that's why. This is why we need that lava. We've run out of coal and therefore run out of energy. So I'm just going to take this out because we actually manufactured all of the items we need currently, so we don't need that redstone chipset. So that's how you make gates. They are very useful. There are quite a number of different ones, including iron and ore gates, gold gates, diamond gates. There's even autarkic gates, which we'll get into later. They act as a really good substitute for redstone engines, which are typically used to pump items out of inventories into pipes. Okay, so there's the gate, but how are we going to mount the gate? Well, you need some cobblestone structure pipe to put the gate somewhere. You can't put the gate in the world as it is. It has to be on a pipe. It doesn't have to be a structure pipe. I'm just using structure pipes because I don't need any other type of pipe to do this. I just want the gate. How do we make structure pipe? Well, pretty simple. Just get some cobblestone transport pipe. With a piece of gravel, you get a structure pipe. How do you make cobblestone transport pipe? Well, pretty simple. Cobblestone glass gets you 8 pieces of that. So we've made a stack of that. We're good. Now, this gate is going to put out a redstone signal, and we need to communicate that redstone signal to our engines. How do we do that? Well, you could use regular redstone. Yes, that's true. However, I prefer to use Red Power's red alloy wire. This stuff is incredibly useful, and it can go up ceilings and across things, and it's really quite cool. So it's really useful for making very compact contraptions. I'm going to leave it as just bare wire because that's all I need, but if you need to, you can not only color it using wool, but you can also make it so that it can suspend itself using covers of any color. And we will get into that in future episodes. But for now, we're only interested in the bare red alloy wire, which can be used by making a red alloy ingot into 3, and you'll get 12 pieces. How do you make red alloy ingots? Well, remember those 8 alloy furnaces we made out of brick and then never used? Well, that's how you make red alloy ingots. You put a iron ingot and redstone, or a copper ingot and redstone, and you will get 1 alloy ingot per copper or iron ingot plus redstone. Now, I always use iron for this because, frankly, copper is way more, I want to say, rarer than I find iron more common than copper, let's just say. So I value copper more than iron. So I always use iron, just a note. Now, that's going to help us make the signal, but we also want a couple of other things, which I will get into once we lay this all down. So let's go to the Nether, and let's start making that lava pump just that much more intelligent. I'll be right back once we're in the Nether. Okay, here we are back in the Nether at our lava pump facility. Engines are going strong. The redstone energy cell is filling up quite nicely, and the pumps are pumping, but it's dumb. There's a couple problems. One, these engines are going to continue even if the redstone energy cell is full. We don't want that. That's a bit of a waste of lava and presents a problem with the magma engines, because eventually, if they get too much energy stored, they won't explode, but they will shut down. We don't want that. So, how do we solve that? Well, that's first of all where our gate and conduit, or I should say structure pipe, come in. So we're going to put a structure pipe, and we're going to attach it right onto the energy cell, and then we're going to put the gate right on the structure pipe, and there we go. Look at that. That looks really cool. Now, if we right click, one of the things you can do with this gate is you can tell it what condition to look for. So in this case, we're going to look and see, can we store energy in the energy cell, which means it's not full, which means we want the engines on. If in this case, hi, my kitten, meow, meow, meow. Sorry, that's my cat. So in this case, we want the gate to emit a redstone signal, and that's great. That's what it's doing now. So now we've got this redstone signal, and as you can see, we can put this redstone wire down. And this is where, unfortunately, I'm going to have to get rid of my lighting. I really should raise the ceiling up a bit and make for a better lighting solution, because these torches on the floor just aren't going to cut it. So, where and what do we want to do? We're finished with the cobblestone structure pipe. And, oh, I guess first thing we should do is we should probably plop down our chunk loader. So there's our chunk loader. It is within this chunk, so it doesn't matter where you put it inside the chunk. And we are going to set it again to 49 chunks in a square. And actually, I'm going to bump it up one more to 81 chunks, again in a square. This is more than enough to cover the effective radius of these pumps. So these pumps are going to be able to pump out all of the lava that's within the radius, and that chunk loader is going to keep all of those affected chunks loaded at all times. So let's get back to this. First thing we want to do is red power provides us with a whole bunch of different type of gates. They're logic gates. As you can see, and in fact I will look up gate. These are all of the different logic gates that Red Power 2 provides for processing redstone signals. And it's great because in this condition, we actually have two conditions we want to have. I want to have a master off switch, both in this room and, or I should say a master on switch. And I want a master on switch from anywhere else. Now, this is where it gets really fun. Oh, come on, rotate. Did I not get a wrench, a screwdriver? Oh boy. Okay, so this is another tool you need. I'm gonna have to go back and get this a stick and an ironing it. Red Power 2 gates require the screwdriver to manipulate, so I will be right back with a screwdriver. Okay, we're back. Now, first thing is we put down the wrong item on the floor. Second thing, I probably should go over what these items are. There is an add-on we are using called ChickenBone's Wireless Redstone. It allows the transmission of redstone signals wirelessly across dimensions over great distances. It's a really neat add-on. Its main items are the wireless transmitter and the wireless receiver. How do you make them? It's very similar to how you make the other gates that come with Redstone or Red Power 2, except in this case you do need receiver dishes and obsidian sticks. I'll go into the receiver dish first. The receiver dish is made from a wireless transceiver and a stone bowl. Stone bowl is pretty obvious. It's just like a wooden bowl only made with stone. The wireless transceiver is made using an obsidian stick, which is just 2 obsidian to make 2 obsidian sticks, and a Aether pearl, which is made with redstone, glowstone, which we mined in last episode, how convenient, and an ender pearl. The rest of the items, stone wafers, are made by just cooking up stone. So usually I do that in a powered furnace. 1 stone will make 2 wafers. And then stone wire is just a wafer and some redstone. So that's typically how you make, in this case, a receiver, or a transmitter just uses a wireless transceiver instead of the receiver dish. So there you have it. In this case, we want to put down the receiver, and we want to put it right there, just like that. So basically this wire, so we're going to set this up. And here is the UI for the wireless receiver. Basically, what it's asking you for is a numeric number. And typically what you do is you give that number a name. And we are going to call it lava pumps on. Set the name, and you're done. So in this case, it'll say lava pumps on. The receiver should show, in our case, a 100. Now you'll note this is not red. So if we turn this off, all of this will be red. Now, if we go over here and place down a transmitter and tell it to transmit on the same frequency, and if we were to get a lever, a lever, not a torch, and we were to turn that on, not only are you going to see this go red, but this over here goes red. regardless of this switch. It'll stay red. So, this is our master power. If we want to turn it on in here, if we want to turn it on somewhere else, we can also use this. An OR signal is just the two wires connected together, but we want this and this ANDed together because we only want the engines on if this energy cell has space for energy, which it does, and that's why the redstone signal here is on. So what we want to do now is we can place down our red power AND gate. Now, in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to destroy these wires for now, just so that we can see the AND gate by itself. Now, the AND gate has 3 inputs, one input there, and one input there, and an output which will be here. So we want to rotate this twice, and we want to turn off this input. To do that, press Shift and keep clicking until these 2 inputs are on. So now only this input and this input are going to be considered for the AND condition. We're going to get some redstone wire. That will turn that input off. That will turn that input off. And now you'll notice that this input is now on. And there we go. We can now continue our signal. We're going to get rid of these switches. Or levers, I should say. And that will turn off the engines. Be careful when using your pick around here. Cobblestone breaks relatively easily and you don't want to fall through. And then we're going to take this, and as you can see, we're going to just take it down the line. And that will turn on all of the engines back on because this energy cell has power. Now, if we were to turn this lever off, that does nothing because of course this is still receiving a signal, but if we were to turn this lever off, now the engines are off because we've told them to be off even though this redstone energy cell needs energy. So now we're smart. However, we still have a problem. We've got control over the power from anywhere, and in fact, I can move this setup anywhere in the world, so I'm going to pick it up. But, and we're going to turn this on for now because this thing still needs more energy. But our problem is we still can't transmit lava to the overworld. How do we do that, you say? Well, that's just easy. There's a couple ways to do it. One of them is with a Nether tank. Okay, what is it called? Tank. It's an Ender tank. It's one of these guys here. It requires blaze rods, a cauldron, some wool, obsidian, and an ender pearl. We need blaze rods because this is the solution I'm going to go with. The other solution is called, uses a liquid transposer, and actually what I can do is use, ender pearls. If you melt ender pearls down using a magma crucible, you'll get molten ender. Molten ender can be used to make, and it is part of, and I do apologize for this, I believe it's part of thermal expansion. And I am right to make, yes, tesseracts, of course. Tesseracts are the other way of transporting energy, liquids, and items. I personally prefer, obviously energy, I prefer to use energy tesseracts to transmit energy. It's just the best way. However, for liquids and item tesseracts, I prefer to use ender chests for items or ender tanks for liquids. So we need a pair of ender tanks, which means we need blaze rods. Where to find blaze rods, you ask? Well, we were lucky enough to find an ender, or excuse me, a nether fortress. So let's go to the nether fortress and see what we can find. Now, I did find this ender fortress. It's over in this direction here. I even marked it. However, it's kind of a roundabout way to go. So the path, what I did was I marked the path with these cobblestone monoliths. The nice thing about cobblestone is it shows up pretty good in the nether. It's not something that occurs naturally. And as long as you make these monoliths in a way that you can see, or obelisks, or whatever you want to call them, in a way that you can see the next one from the previous one, in the nether, they can be used quite well to find your way across these really cave-like and quite complex landscapes. Just be careful, however, not to fall in lava. That would be really embarrassing. So we're going to go over here to the base of our nether fortress. And as you can see, there it is. It's quite large. And in fact, I do believe, did I not make a staircase up here? Or am I going to have to just nerd pull up? I think I have to nerd pull up. So here we go. Actually, I'm just going to do this. Give me some nether brick. Or netherrack, excuse me. Netherrack for the win. Alright. Nerd pull up with some netherrack. And there we go. Alright. We're at the base of our nether fortress. It's quite dark down here. And there's a evil fire bat. Nasty evil fire bat. Alright. So we're at the base of our nether fortress, but we really need to get on top. So let me do that, and I will be right back. Okay, so here we are. We're in the nether fortress. It's quite dark, so I'm going to try and light it up as best I can. And in fact, I can see down the way some lava, pigman, but more importantly, a scary wither skeleton. And here he comes. He's attacking me. He's giving me the wither. Oh, I got him. But no skull, so oh well. The wither skeletons will give you this nasty wither effect, which makes your health very hard to see. I have no cobblestone, or I'm sure coal, so I'm gonna have to steal these torches. Let's see if, oh, it's so dark. Barely see here. I'm not getting through this way. I'm not going to even attempt to play with lava. So effectively, this is a dead end. And it looks like this entire place is a dead. Oh, no, here we go. There's a balcony here. And no. Ah, Mr. Ghast. Sneaky, sneaky. Take that. Oh, God. Gosh. Now, if I'm not mistaken, that was really good. Yeah, walk into the fire, Malakosa. Very good. I hit his ball and returned it to him. I should have gotten the achievement. There is an achievement to do that, but unfortunately, it didn't count, so I don't know what happened there. Alright, so here we are. There's an entrance down here below, and oh my. I'm going to take all this. This will be useful in the future for potion making. It's called nether wart, always useful. And because it's so rare, it seems, I am also going to take the soul sand that it's growing on. But this isn't what we are looking for. We are looking for blaze rods. So let us go find some blazes, and I will be right back. Okay, we're back, and we found what can only be called probably the most perfect of situations. There is a blaze spawner right in front of us, completely encased in stone, and all I need to do is make sure that I don't die. And the best way to do this is to present only a doorway to the blazes so that you can eventually kill them just through this one doorway. In fact, we'll do that. Come on, Mr. Blaze. There's one dead. We're going to advance. No, we're not. Anyways, as you can see, we've got this pretty much covered. These guys, well, they can hit me, but not enough to actually kill me, although right now I'm almost dead. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to secure this place and make it a little bit safer. And I will be right back, and we will get ourselves some blaze rods. Okay, we're back, and somehow I made it back to safety, out of the Nether fortress and back to my entrance to the overworld. So we're back in the overworld. As you can see, I've got 10 blaze rods, some nether wart, and some extra glowstone, so that's great. I also managed to pick up some shards of minium and some extra nether brick and soul sand, so that's going to help out a lot. Let me just clear my inventory here. I'm going to put the... Actually, we'll take the nether brick down, or the glowstone downstairs. We're going to go downstairs here and create those ender tanks. Now, ender tanks. I am going to use some orange dye and get me some orange wool, because it turns out that if you use orange wool to make ender tanks, you will get an orange ender tank, and I will talk a little bit about the coloring. Maybe what I'll do is I'll use white wool instead. So, some wool, some blaze rods, some obsidian, and I need a cauldron and some ender pearls. So there's my ender pearls. Cauldrons are made out of iron, and I need 2 of them. Very easy to make cauldrons. There you go. 1, 2, and we're good. Cauldrons, ender pearls, and there's our 2 ender tanks. Now these are cool. Let's go back to the Nether, and let's start putting these down. Okay, we're back at our lava pump facility, and interestingly enough, the engines are off. Why is that, you ask? Well, that's because our redstone energy cell is full. The pumps aren't pumping because there's nowhere for this lava to go. So, first thing we need to do is we need to color our ender tanks. Now, coloring on ender tanks is very important. Basically, you have these 3 squares on top of every ender tank, and in fact, ender chests work the same way. If the 3 colors match, the ender tanks are effectively the same tank, regardless of how many ender tanks you have or where they are located. It is the same tank. We're going to color these tanks to be solid orange. So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up this tank, and we're going to place it on top of these liquid ducts. And in fact, I'm going to get a piece of cobble to help us just place this. Now stand up here and we're going to place it right here. As you can see, the ender tank is filling up with lava, and the engines did go on for a little bit because the redstone filled up, or was drained of a little bit of energy and then immediately filled up with a single pump. So now our ender tank is full of lava, and it's the orange tank, which we can't quite see, but we know it's orange. We set it to be solid orange. This one, however, is not full of anything. Why is that? Well, that's because it's not full orange. Let's make it full orange. As soon as we do, it's instantly full, and you'll note the engines didn't turn on that time because this was just a graphic thing. So now we have an ender tank full of lava that we can take anywhere and do anything with. So let's go back to the overworld and let's turn this master switch off. In fact, I'm going to leave it there. We're going to leave it off for now, but we will do something else. So we're going to go back to the overworld because we are done here. And we are going to do two things. We're going to put our lava tank or our ender tank down, and then we are going to put our wireless transmitter right here. We are going to set the frequency to be lava pumps on, and we are going to, I'm not sure if, well, let's rotate it. And we're going to put a lever right up here, and we're going to turn that on. So now the lava pumps are on, the ender tank is there, and we're ready to accept lava. And well, looks like it's time to go. This episode we managed to get our lava pump going and getting it more intelligent and working really well, plus getting lava into the overworld from the Nether, which is really great. We also found a blaze spotter, which we're going to put to good use, you bet. If you like this episode, please like, subscribe, and leave any comments or suggestions. This has been episode 9 of the ManuFactory with Malacosa, and I'm signing out.